Most autistic people have sensory differences. We see, feel and hear things differently and inhabit a world that's largely not designed for us. So if, like me, you're oversensitive, this can result in sensory overloads. What can cause a sensory overload and what does it actually feel like? While all autistic people are different, inevitably some will experience overloads in similar ways. This is how I experience the world. So to give you a good example, imagine yourself in a large supermarket. It's a busy Saturday afternoon. And then think about all the sights and sounds that come with being in that supermarket. So in one corner of the store, you'll have the entrance where you'll hear the security beeping with people coming in and out. You'll hear staff talking, customers talking, trolleys being pushed, shelves being stacked, possibly an escalator, a lift, possibly a coffee shop with all the noise that comes from that. There'll be people in every aisle, so they'll all be talking. There could be children crying, children laughing, children running about. So many sounds, and then there's the lights as well. And all the lights are different. So you've got the overhead lights. You've got the lights in all the fridges and the freezers. And then you've got the different type of lighting that you often see now in bakery departments or health and beauty departments. So for me, the sounds are a problem a lot of the time because the way my brain works is it doesn't filter sound. So I hear everything in that supermarket, but I hear it all at the same volume. And it's all jumbled up and all turned up to maximum. So already I've got that overloading as soon as I go into the shop. In addition to this, I have more significant difficulties with lighting, and it's specific types of lighting, and I don't really know what's going to affect me if I've not been there before until I actually experience it. And I know instantly. So the lighting, unlike non-autistic people, you will hear many people say that the lighting gives them headaches or can make them feel a bit dizzy. The way I experience certain types of lighting is quite specific. It's how I experience sensory overloads. And like I mentioned earlier, not everybody will have the same experience, but some people do. So for me, it starts with an instant numbness, and I can literally feel my head going numb. And then that travels down my body. I feel very disorientated. I feel sick, nauseous. Then the anxiety kicks in. I start getting panicky. All of my senses start getting really heightened. So then all of the noise comes to the forefront as well. So all of this mixed together is quite daunting and anxiety provoking. I remove myself as quickly as I can most of the time, and that obviously helps. And if I do it quick enough, I can sometimes escape an overload. But it's not always easy to escape quickly enough. Over the years, I've learnt some of my triggers and also a few coping strategies. So for example, when I leave the house, I always wear a baseball cap. Anybody who knows me always sees me with a baseball cap on. The reason I always wear the baseball cap is for me it actually helps with light because it blocks out with the peak a lot of the light. Another thing people always notice that I wear when I leave the house is I always wear noise cancelling AirPods. And the reason I wear them is they work in a very similar way to the ear defenders that other autistic people prefer to wear. But for me, it's a less self-conscious way of wearing them without standing out, if you like. If you're an autistic adult, it's likely that many of you already know your triggers and have your own coping mechanisms. One of my own children's autistic, her triggers are completely different to mine. So we've had to adapt and find out what works for her and what doesn't. We learnt her triggers and everything that helps, and I'm pretty sure that other parents are doing the same or have done the same. I'm an adult, so I can mask enough to get by and go largely unnoticed a lot of the time, but the masking takes its toll. And I can blend in when I have to. But if you see a child in a supermarket, for example, who seems to be in distress or may appear to be having a tantrum, don't always be so quick to judge. That child could be autistic and is experiencing far too many sensory inputs all at once. And it's their way of telling somebody that they're having a sensory overload.